Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about my language learning strategies, and my name is Matt Tam. So first of all, let's talk about one of my strategies that works for me here in Taiwan. But first of all, let's talk about what language am I focusing on. I'm now focusing on Japanese. So Japanese contains a lot of alphabets and a lot of kanji. Also, the grammar is kind of harder than uh, the English grammars, in my opinion. So, so I have to learn hiragana, katakana, the kanjis, and the grammars. Um, so I think the environment in Taiwan is great to learn Japanese because since Japanese have conquered the Taiwan in the last couple of last centuries. Um, so I think there are a lot of Japanese culture stayed in Taiwan. There are a lot of Japanese in Taiwan. Also, a lot of Japanese tourists which will come to Taiwan for tourism, and then also a lot of Taiwanese love Japanese culture, and they also learn how to speak Japanese fluently. There are lots of Japanese classes outside in Taiwan and in Taipei. So I think the Japanese major in Tamkang is very great. Their teachers are very great. They know how to speak Japanese fluently. They have a lot of knowledge about Japanese. So I think it's great in Taiwan about the environment. So for my situation right now, I've passed the N4 exam, the Japanese N4 exam of JLPT exam. So I'm now trying to focus on heading to the N2 level because a lot of my friends told me that N2 level is enough for um, a lot of people that they want to speak Japanese fluently but not to live in Japan because N2 is it contains a lot of daily life uses of the language, how to speak, and the grammar, the kanjis is enough. So I'm trying to learn more knowledge about Japanese in order to pass the N2 exam. So let's move on. So now let's talk about my strategies of to learn Japanese in right now. So first of all, my strategy is thinking out loud because I love to speak and while I read. So usually I'll find a short paragraph in Twitter or find some news to talk about. Uh, for myself, I'll speak out loud so that I could memorize how those grammar or how to pronounce those words so that I could use it on daily communicate or sometimes talk to some native speaker on the internet. So once I find some words that I don't know or some words that I don't know how to pronounce it, I'll search their meanings and how to pronounce about it. So also I'll try to visualize what the words are. For example, like the word about the garden, niwa. So I'll try to memorize it. What so I will visualize what it is and try to memorize it as hard as possible. So also I'll try to listen to some songs and try to use the songs and rhythms to make me to memorize those lyrics and in order to memorize what the words are. Also I try to watch the animes, comics, and play some games out with Japanese in it so that I could learn more Japanese about Japanese words. So I think this is a reading strategy, also a listening strategies, because I love to listen to songs and rhythms, and also I could watch the word. I could learn the words throughout the passages, uh, and also the lyrics and the plots from the animes, comics, and games. So I think this is kind of a strategy change. So okay, let's move on to the next part. Here's one strategy I would like to try, and it is learned from this course, and it is from the book of page 23 and 24 in the case 3. So I found out that the strategy the speaker used in the last paragraph is great for me, that he tried to go to the stores, the restaurants, and tea houses to meet some new friends, so he could practice the Chinese with them. So I try to plan to meet some new friends as well, and mostly to meet some new native speaker friends and ask them to practice with me. And first of all, I can easily find a Japanese in Taiwan. There are a lot of Japanese in Taiwan, no matter the tourists or they migrate to here, migration, or some students in Tamkang or other universities. So I think this strategy might work for me because I love to meet new friends, and I love to speak to the native speakers to try out how well I could speak in Japanese and how fluent I can speak with them. So I think I can meet new friends via Twitter. The Japanese love to use Twitter, and also in some arcade centers I can see some Japanese, they love to play in the arcade centers, or sometimes I could plan a travel to Japanese or a working holiday in Japanese in order to practice my Japanese and find some new native speaker to make friends with them. Also, I actually have some native speaker friends in Japanese, and I'm trying to speak with them with Japanese in order to practice my Japanese. So I think this strategy works when I want to know more about how native speaker usually speaks and how they communicate with each others. The tones, the pronunciation, and sometimes the grammar in different places. There are lots of different languages in Japanese, like different accents, or how they how they use grammars is completely different in the Eastern Japanese and the Western Japanese. So I think uh, using this strategy, I can raise my level of using Japanese. And also, I think this strategy might works well for me because meeting new friends is kind of exciting, and this makes me feel I can talk like a native speaker. So this is the end of my language learning strategies. Thank you.